Blackmon. I'm a freelance illustrator who lives locally here in central Oklahoma, and I primarily do work related to tabletop role-playing games. Primarily I work for third-party products and companies such as Wright Publishing, Rogue Genius Games, Fate and Goat Games, and Misfit Studios. And otherwise, in the meantime, I tend to work on my own projects. I have projects such as the Super-Powered Legends series, which is available on DriveThruRPG. I also have several coloring books that I have in the works, but I'm keeping those a secret because I don't want anyone to steal my ideas yet. And in the meantime, I also work on a monthly comic called The Path Less Traveled, which is available in Pathways magazine by Wright Publishing every month for free through DriveThruRPG. I'm quite busy with commissions pretty regularly, and right now I'm hanging out at Soonercon, where I have several products available for sale, including buttons, art prints, some of my old game books that I developed about 10 years ago. And it's been pretty fun so far. Oh, definitely the creativity. I've been a huge fan of comic books, science fiction, ever since I was a kid. My parents were really big into things like Star Wars and Buckaroo Banzai. They were the things that both my mother and father really got me into when I was a kid, and so those kind of things just sparked my imagination. And when I discovered that I had a talent for illustration, they also encouraged that. They purchased me comic books, graphic novels, art books, and it just expanded from there. I did a lot of stuff primarily for myself during my childhood, and into my adult years I was wanting to get into comic books, but never seemed to really manage to make the breakthrough into the industry. And about 10 years ago, with the help of my friend Owen Casey Stevens, who's a pretty big name in the tabletop game industry, he got me into doing illustrations for role-playing game books. And it was about 3 years ago that my career just suddenly exploded. He was doing a video cast online called The Demi-Plane of Gaming, and he and the guests on that particular episode were talking about who your favorite role-playing game artist to work with is. And Owen was mentioning me, and not only my talent, but also apparently I have super speed when it comes to illustration. I'm able to crank out work at a speed that is apparently unheard of, which I hadn't really considered. But apparently we all have our talents. And ever since then, I started getting calls from various different third-party companies, and my art career just exploded and expanded. And I've been pretty constantly busy from 2013 till now. It's been rare when I haven't had any projects going. I love to see what other people are working on all the time. I look at some of my favorite artists from my childhood, see what they're doing now, taking a look at new artists and see what they're doing now. I am all the time, I'm constantly on DeviantArt and other artistic websites getting inspiration. And I take the ideas from little bits and pieces here, and it's like, oh, I really love how that looks. I really like how that looks, how they look together, and pretty much work on that. The best place to follow me I have a pretty strong presence on Facebook, and I also have a pretty strong presence on DeviantArt. It's prodigyduck.deviantart.com. And yeah, those are the best places to look for my work. I also have a Patreon campaign for like a lot of other artists where I'm developing work, collecting monthly income from people who decide to support me, and that's pretty helpful.